Hello once again. It's your boy That's No Moon. We are back. We are back on the holotables, and boy, it has been a week. And we're slowly getting through all the stuff in real life. But what I thought I would do is this video. I'm kind of just testing audio stuff as well, alongside a series that I used to do called Gear 13. Is it worth it? Where I would kind of just take a character up to gear 13, put a couple of little relic levels on them, and be able to hopefully let you make a little bit more informed decision as to whether you wanted to take this character to gear 13 yourself. Now, in terms of Arc Trooper as well, I think what was happening with the audio issues, because I use a lapel mic, because I'm recording everything from my phone, every time I bring the phone too close to the mic, it would actually cause interference from signal or whatever it was, which makes sense. So we're going to try a slightly different setup with it today. Now, Arc Trooper, you have all jumped on this train, and a lot of people have been telling me to relic Arc Trooper for the longest time. Now, I never really bought into that, and in terms of this, from my perspective, it worked absolutely fine in a mirror match with Gas. It worked absolutely fine versus Darth Revan. It was messy as anything, but yeah, I mean, it was kind of quite functional at Gear 12. I didn't really feel, and it is also a huge investment as well, and I'll go through that a little bit later on. From my perspective, where I want to be is performing better in light side territory battles. I've got to that point now. And I'm also going to have a look at Shaak Ti today as well. I'm going to take her to gear 13 as well. So it's a bit of a twofer. And from the sole perspective of, I want to be performing better in light side territory battles. I want to be trying for cam shards. I want to be making sure that Shaak Ti and clones can clear quite a few waves, and you guys have got the jump on me. When we have a look at Arc data, the player data, there's around about 187,000 Arc Troopers around. Most of them are level 85, and most of them, as I scroll down to the bottom, most of them are gear 13. So yeah, 158,000 of them are 7-star, and yeah, there's still a few. There's nearly 73,000 of you with gear. So in terms of a purely metrics based video, this is a terrible video. But yeah, I'm gonna, for the other 29,000 of you who are still at gear 12, I'm gonna bring you this video to hopefully make you a little bit more informed decision anyway. So you guys have absolutely beat me to this, and having a look at the gear distribution, the vast majority have also sworn by it and gone, yep, Arc Trooper is an absolutely amazing character. Now, the thing that put me off was the gear requirements, certainly. In terms of the kit itself, it's going to deal physical damage, and if the enemy had no buffs, it's going to deal 30% more damage. This one's quite a good one. Obviously, the blaster turret is going to assist whenever the character uses an ability, and that was also something that I'm going to test in this one. How much is it worth pumping the offense as opposed to crit damage as well? And I've got a gut feeling about where I want to go with it as well. We also have counter chance in there as well, and that blaster turret is basically a free hit. It's basically a free assist as well, and in terms of that, it's gonna go through it. I think it hits for true damage as well. I can't quite remember, and yeah, the blaster turret, when you talk about like anti-Malak synergy and being able to take down, there's quite a few reasons as to why you would want to upgrade this character. So at the moment, we're looking at around about 75,000 health and protection at gear 12.3. And yeah, the offense itself, so he's 230. I tend to prefer mine a little bit more on the side of slower, but able to hit hard. And I think it's about balancing it and testing it out a little bit as well. Damage, physical offense, we're looking at 4,500 there. So again, it's not really, reinventing the wheel in terms of its damage there at all. However, it is going to output, as we see a little bit later, some decent damage as well when you tend to mod it right. Crit chance, I also think there's something to be said about this, because when this guy crits, it hits hard. So what I thought I would do, I was able to ask Kratos, very kindly, was able to step in and put in his Sith Empire team into Arena, and I was going to go in, get a baseline reading from this, and also have a look at what the significant difference is in practice as well. His Darth Revan is 355, way quicker than I would have liked, but it is, again, we're throwing ourselves right into the fire in terms of being able to to get a good read on this character and how much of a difference he's actually going to make. There were about 182,000 on Malik as well, and I'm going to see what sort of damage I can do and what the significant difference, if any, there is in terms of getting this character to gear 13. I have a gut feeling at the start here it is going to be survivability, and it's also going to be like raw damage output as well. So yeah, this is a quick Darth Revan, and yeah, I think I'm actually going to have to remod Rex to actually get the jump on these guys as well. So let me see if I can get Arc Trooper to even take a turn on this. Oh my god. Here we go. Oh my gosh, here we go. Right, let's feed him some turn. And let's put in now. What I'm interested in is the actual turret. So the turret does 9,358. So that's more what I'm interested in. I don't think I'm going to get another turn with Arc Trooper, unfortunately, in this one. Oh, there he goes. Down he goes. And this is a super ropey battle as well against a really good Darth Revan squad. And essentially, it's just a way of, is this going to more bulletproof this counter, or is it kind of more like a PvE aspect in terms of that? Again, it's very, very ropey, but here against Malik, I'm not going to take him down because I'm not going to knock his payout down. But let's go into that character, let's have a look, and let's see if it is worth it. Now, when I was talking about the actual requirements for this guy, these are insane. When you think about a Galactic Legend, you have to farm so many of these, so it is a huge distraction. Now, from my point of view, I have 2 Galactic Legends in the bag. I'm not in a huge rush to get the third one. I'm going to so what I'm doing here as well is sturdying my roster where I can before heading straight for that third one. These are insane requirements. 2 of these as well, and they're basically tank mods, tank pieces as well. You think when you have health, you do get a little bit of extra speed as well. You're going to get 20 speed going from gear 12 to gear 13. Now, that one there, that plus 1,075 physical damage, that is insane. That is one of the actual best, like almost appropriate upgrades that I've actually seen on a character going to gear 13. And in terms of that, so at the moment he was hitting for 4,514 on his physical offense. So adding that is automatically going to add 1,075 on as well. So that is actually a pretty good upgrade. Even if you're not going for a gear 13, I would actually advise that finisher piece rather than those top 2 as well. But again, it takes another one of those. So it's like, even when you've got to this point, it's still 150 of those furnaces as well. So there he is. And we're going to put a couple of levels on his relic as well, just to see how good we can get him. Ideally, I can get him to relic 7, and give you an absolute brilliant test of it. Unfortunately, free to play, that ain't the case. You've got to be clever with your relics as well. So I'm going to try and get him to, I think, relic level 2 or 3 in this one. And we'll go from there, have a look. Yeah, we can take him to 3. Let's take him to 3. Okay, and you can see there that his health has grown quite a lot. Physical damage has grown as well. And so in terms of that, let's take a look at the stats. Let's have a look. Is it underwhelming? Is it overwhelming? So now we're looking at around 113 health and protection, which is pretty good. Speed has gone to 250, which I actually quite like as well. And nothing I don't think has really happened with the potency or tenacity side of things. But now the physical offense has gone to 7540. So that is almost like a third, maybe 25% to a third increase in damage. So that's actually pretty good to see. Now, I remodded now for purely offense, and in terms of that, so he didn't lose a huge amount of speed because there wasn't a huge amount there to start with, but I put an offense triangle on him, or arrow rather, and I think that one's an offense as well, and that one's an offense as well. Now, what I would say is, in terms of watching this back in retrospect, I feel, I'm not going to spoil it, but I feel that there's a better choice rather than just pure offense. The offense is absolutely going to help the turret side of things. However, I feel that the majority of damage is probably going to come elsewhere. So that's what we're going to do. This is just an experiment here. We're going to, okay, so we were able to get him to nearly 9,000 damage in terms of physical offense. So let's head back on in. Let's go in, have a look at Kratos' team again. And yes, I did remod Rex to get the jump on them. And we're now looking at 16,000. So that's a nice bump in terms of damage as well. So pretty happy with that. In terms of being able to take down Malik as well, that is going to be a huge help, certainly as well. Let's head on over. Let's see what we can do with Basti. Okay, we're under the taunt, unfortunately. This is a good Sith Empire squad, actually. And Gas takes a knee. Okay, so yeah, there is a decent input, or like there is a decent extra amount of damage there, which I quite like as well. And what I do want to try here, and this was what I was thinking as well, is oh yeah, so as you see, this isn't going to be a huge amount of extra damage. Crit for 81,000, but it's still a ropey matchup. Now let's head for Basti, let's head for HK. I do think it makes it a little bit easier, because the turret is obviously nailing Malik as well. There we go. So we get rid of Malik. Now this one here, using this ability, okay, I can see why you guys like him, and I can see why you guys have like quite a passion for it. 160,000 on the crit. Now that is even without... So that is without even a crit damage triangle. And that is probably what I would actually advise, because I don't feel like it drops a huge amount of offense. It's not enough to justify keeping offense on your arrow triangle. I think that crit damage and modding for crit damage and crit chance and getting a crit hit there is kind of like Vader. If he crits, it's going to be for huge damage. So that was incredibly good to see as well. So I like that. In terms of, do I feel it's a early game or mid game upgrade that you should be doing? I think this is more late game. I think this is rounding out teams that you feel like, if you want to go for cam shards, if you want to perform better in light side territory battles, I think because of the mechanics of that 501st team, I don't feel like you need to prioritize this guy in terms of getting him from gear 12 to gear 13. He works fine at gear 12 as well. But what I would say from that initial testing is crit damage and crit chance is actually, I feel, going to be the best bang for your buck. So moving on to Shaak Ti. Now Shaak Ti is probably a little bit of a luxury as well. In terms of health and protection, she's super squishy, what I've got her at the moment. Speed is actually quite nice. The benefit of getting her up, she's going to get plus 20 speed as well. I've already put these two pieces on, and I'm going to be putting on this piece as well. Doesn't cross-reference with a huge amount of people. This is one of the lesser used ones as well. So, but this is a real choke point. You always need these Mark V droid callers. So, in terms of where we're looking at 36,000 in protection, I'm also going to be looking at the important things on her: the speed, the survivability, damage. She's not really going to be doing a huge amount of damage anyway. Her kit is pretty good in terms of, that's not going to need any potency, anything like that. This is just going to be a pure fire. So this, I feel, is more of a luxury in terms of ARC Trooper even. And this is more for hitting check marks and requirements, etc., for being able to do that cam mission as well. So, right, check marks are 36, so 86,000 health and protection. So let's go on. Let's apply this as well. I guess it has a little bit of armor penetration as well. So there we go to gear 13. Let's put a couple of relics on. We're having a look at health and armor, which is going to be fantastic for survivability as well. Armor again in that agility growth. And we've got crit chance, crit damage, and evasion, which is actually really nice in terms of having a look at keeping this character alive. I think she classes as a support character. Yep. So these are always incredibly squishy, but evasion chance is actually really nice as well. So I'm going to give her a couple of relics. Let's have a look and let's see the difference here. Okay, we might be able to get to relic level 3. But I don't really want to over-relic these characters as well. Let me just find some of these. Okay, so in taking it to relic level 3, which is usually where I take most of my characters, to give them the biggest difference is obviously going to be from gear 12 to gear 13, but I kind of quite like to put a few little relic levels on them there. So now we've got evasion chance of plus 5%, crit damage is an extra 4.5 along with crit chance. I'm not really too bothered about that. The armor has increased as well fairly significantly, so that was one I forgot to check actually. But having a look at it now. So speed-wise, anything that gets this character, any character to over 300 is a huge advantage. So she's now operating at 311, which is really nice, paired up with the Jedi Knight Luke squad or whatever it is, along with Hermit Yoda, etc. So now having a look at this, it's now about 110,000 health and protection. So a nice significant boost in terms of that. Speed has gone up as well, obviously. And this is only from adding 1 gear piece and 3 gear levels as well. Physical offense has gone up a little bit. Not going to be the what I'm looking for. But armor's there at 50.9%, which is actually really nice in terms of negating around about half of that physical damage that's coming in. So in terms of survivability, I feel that Shaak Ti, or even if you want to run Shaak Ti and clones versus Darth Revan to get an absolute min-max, I think this is going to be key, having a survival as well. In terms of mods, it's going to be a speed set with a focus of either high health or whatever it is. So let me have a look what I've got on here now. I've got protection and I've got health here. So here's one that I could probably take up, and actually, yeah, I've got plenty of those. So now having a look at it, and there we go. Yeah, we're looking at around about 114,000. So nice upgrades, significant upgrades in terms of that. Do like that that both of these characters now are going to be much more used in light side TBs, and they're going to be able to be a lot more survivable as well. So that's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts as always in the comments. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you have enjoyed. Hopefully the sound has sorted itself out as well, and I will see you all next time. Cheers, guys.